Hello, welcome to Shad Life. It is ridiculously windy out, but what's going on? This is like crazy. This is not Minnesota weather. It is March 3rd, and on my way over here, my car said 76 degrees. That is insane. Anyway, I'm here at XL Energy Mountain Bike Park to ride my Surly Lowside for the first time with the new setup with the suspension fork and mountain bike bars and stuff like that. So we'll see how this rides, and I am running single speed. Thankfully the trails are in the woods, so it won't be this windy in the trails. You probably can hardly hear me if the wind. I'm trying to keep the microphone out of the wind. I don't know if you can hear me in this wind, but there's still ice on the lake over there. This is crazy. 75 degrees, 76, something like that. And really, really windy coming from the south. Give this a little warm-up lap. Get a feel for this bike. Of course, pumping is super nice. Cool. So even though this bike's more slack with the suspension fork, oh my god, the wind. Still feels pretty responsive and twitchy, which I like actually. Oh, so nice and tacky. Oh, that little slide out is a sign that I don't really like recons, especially on the front. I have to say, this bike feels amazing. It's already dry, dusty in here. Oh, I love how this bike jumps. Oops, sorry. Oh, too much to the inside. Nice thing about a single speed, you don't have a derailleur to smash. Just slide off. Whew. Fun. Okay, I'm gonna take a moment, hopefully out of the wind. I'm kind of in the trees and stuff a little bit. Like with the riding I've done, which isn't a ton, but I can know how a bike is gonna ride pretty quickly. This thing rides amazing. Like, it is so nice with this handlebar and this fork setup that tames it a little bit, but it doesn't make it like too slack. It'll be kind of fun to set this bike up as a mullet like I've been talking about and see how it rides in. But like, if I go back to a rigid fork on the front, I think I'm gonna want to put like a karate monkey or a taller fork on the front and keep the geometry more like this, because I feel like with the fork that it came with, it's just too twitchy. Although I feel like it's appropriate, because if I put the other fork on, I'm going to put BMX bars, you know, or the low side or sunrise bars on, and then it will ride more like a BMX bike versus now it rides a lot more like a mountain bike, right? Like a rigid, more stable, you know, mountain bike. So yeah, I really like it in this configuration. I'm quite surprised. I was a little worried that it would feel a little weird, but it doesn't. It is spot on. It feels excellent. So now I'm gonna hit this jump line. Cleared them all, but I didn't really pop very much off of them. I suppose that's my first time through. I'll go back and do it again. Unfortunately, with the number of people that are here, I don't think I'm going to be able to set up my other angles very much today. Holy shit! Damn! Yeah, that was the wind. Gee. Well, dang, I don't crash very often, but that was a crash. I'll show you. The wind just took me. Like, I should know better, because the wind's coming directly from the side. And I tried to actually pop that time. When I got in the air, the wind just took me. And of course, I would have been fine had it had a wider landing. But if you look, my front wheel went over there and just made me slide out and crash. And I'm actually fine. I think I got a little tiny mark there, and my bar end cap came out, so I'm just going to put that back in. I'm glad I noticed it came out so I don't lose it, because that one's kind of cool. But I guess my lesson for today is when there's a big crosswind, you shouldn't be trying to pop high off the jumps. Oh well, that might have looked pretty cool from the chesty mount. I did scratch the lens a little bit, so there might be some scratches in the video I continue to do after this. But everything, I'm fine. But the nice thing about these GoPros is the lens is replaceable. I'm a little like distracted right now. Anyway, I'm gonna finish out this lap and keep riding this bike because I'm having a lot of fun. Yeah, it's funny, I rewatched that video, and you can see in the video very clearly here. I'll replay it. You can literally see my front bike just drift over to the right. Crosswind, and it's windy. Like, I don't know, it's a very strong wind today, and you'd think I would know better, but you know, I just wanted to catch a little air. Oh, here we are back out in the wind. I can't believe how dry it is. If we don't get precipitation in the spring here, we're gonna have one really dry, tough summer, especially when it comes to the trails. I want to ride this, but my luck, as soon as I get on there, I'll get a big old gust of wind that'll send me off. So Not gonna chance it. Not gonna have 2 crashes in a day, but I will ride this. It's a little calmer outside. All right, let's keep going. And this bike just nicely floats over the log piles. Sweet. Trusting that the wind won't take me out. Whew. This bike feels really nice. It still has that quickness and agility that I like about the Lowside, and I thought it would feel pretty sluggish having the suspension fork on there and having a slacker head angle, but it's not bad. And now if I do want it to be more slacked out, it'll be interesting to see what it'll feel like set up as a mullet. I really want to get a video of me jumping this bike, so I'm going to do this jump right here. There's that one, and then this one, decently long. I think I can get a little steez over it, but at least we're in the woods a bit, so I won't get like a gnarly crosswind. But this bike jumps really well, and so I figure since it jumps well, I want to get at least one shot of me jumping. So let's do it. Camera's right there. This is what it's all about. Here we go. Nice. Not much of a lip on that one. So this XL Energy mountain bike park is this section is really short. It's like I'm on my second lap. It's less than 3 miles. Probably like 2.5 miles. Do I dare? Let's roll the first one, then jump the other 2. This is where I just crashed. Yeah, huge crosswind. So we'll roll that, then jump. Woo! Oh yeah, that's way better. Just that first one's right out in the open, and so you come out of the woods and get blasted from the side. And if you're not thinking about it like me, my first attempt, you're not expecting that wind to just take you. Alright. So this trail has this short loop that takes you back to kind of the start. And then there's a longer loop that goes around the lake. But I think even if you do all of it, I can't remember how many total miles, but I think it's right around 5. It's not huge. Here's the wind, so of course you're not going to hear me very well. So dry too. Fun. Wow. I did not expect this bike to be this good in this configuration. So one of the things I really like about single speeding is how simple it is. I mean, if you followed some of my videos on my past, I rode single speed hardcore for about 7 years straight, and I didn't even own a geared bike. And what got me to really liking single speed was when I was getting into mountain biking, I always had drivetrain problems. These are so abrupt. And I would wreck derailleurs and brake chains and all this stuff. And so I tried single speed, and immediately my BMX brain kicked in, and I just loved it, because it's like when you need to climb or need more power, you just stand up and put the power down. Like right here a little bit, stand up, no gear shifting, no anything. The only thing you have to do is make sure you put the right cog on for the kind of trail you're gonna ride. And I rode a single speed in Fruita, Colorado, Grand Junction, and even in Whistler. It was such a blast. More gratuitous. I have to say, this fork is super plush. I thought that when I went down to 100 millimeters that it wouldn't have as much plushness because it has less travel. Absolutely not true. And it has 4 volume spacers in there, so that means it can be soft at the top, but it ramps up. And I'm looking at my little O-ring, and it hasn't even maxed out yet. It's close, but that's what you want. So I tend to put longer cranks on my single speed. I believe these are 175s, which is what I run on my BMX bike, so seems to feel pretty good. But I think, because I'm curious, I might try those 165 cranks that I have and run an easier gear and spin more and see how I like that. We'll see. That's what's fun about being able to experiment like this. Now I'm gonna go do this lap around the lake. Pretty boring video wise, because it's just pretty much a cross country loop, so I'm just gonna get to it. So these tires are plus size, so they're 2.8s, and I'm running about 24 psi in the rear. Yeah, this is quite a plush ride. You got a steel frame plus tire, and it just feels really good. It's not harsh going over the bumps. Okay, I'm crouched. It's sitting in the back seat, not even on the back seat, on the door sill or whatever you call it, to stay out of the wind, because otherwise you won't be able to hear me. And even being here, the wind keeps wrapping around. So anyway, yeah, there's the low side. I do want to keep plus tires on this bike. I do, however, think they're like, what, 4 years old? When did I get this bike? Probably 4 years ago. So I need new tires. These are just worn. They don't grip very well anymore. And I had a couple of corners where they didn't really bite. They roll really fast, which I like for plus tires. So thinking maybe some WTB Rangers, or maybe a Ranger on the rear and something a little more aggressive on the front. I don't know. I'll have to find some new tires. But aside from that, this bike is way more amazing than I was expecting it to be riding. So yeah, and I can't wait to try it in the mullet configuration. I also have carbon rims. You know, I got all kinds of experiments I can do with this bike, which is pretty cool. And I know everybody loves the Lowside, so I will keep messing around with it. And I still have the original fork and bars. The way this rides though, if I go back to a rigid fork, I feel like I just want to get like a Karate Monkey fork, which is suspension corrected and will have better axle to crown and make this bike ride more like it does now. But we'll see. I did ride it quite a bit in its original configuration, and I liked it that way. So just, you know, 70-degree head angle, you gotta be on your toes. Cool. All right, I'm actually gonna go crush out another lap. I'm done filming for this video, but I want to ride more and just not even think about filming. So appreciate your support for my channel. Please like and subscribe. Peace.